What's good, guys, and welcome to another episode of Mini Football Logic. It's Zeno here, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Manchester United, or should I say Tottenham versus Manchester United game, which Tottenham won by 2-0. Now, to quickly summarize, it was a game arguably of two halves, as they always say. The first half was evenly contested between these two sides, with both teams having opportunities to go ahead, and even United having a penalty shout not given. But in the second half, Tottenham imposed themselves in this new revolution under new manager Ange Postecoglou, and a powerful second half performance pushed them to a 2-0 victory with goals from Pape Matar, his first goal for Tottenham, and a goal originally awarded to Ben Davies, but it really was an own goal by Lisandro Martinez, who didn't have the best of games. Nonetheless, shout out to Yves Bissouma for another masterful performance. Tottenham overall just looked very good. Guglielmo Vicario played a lot better in the eyes of many, and we're starting to see what Postecoglou is really building here. But because I didn't watch the game, I can't give you a detailed analysis. So you're gonna have to hear it from the lips of Dukey, aka Julius, who will offer his perspective of the game in a more in-depth side from the eyes of a Manchester United fan. So this one's gonna be painful. Nonetheless, enjoy.
Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester United 0, and in the first half it was very much a 50-50 game, but then in the second half it all went tits up. I won't even front. I'm going to steal the title from the United stand, because that very much was Eric Ten Hag disaster class. We all knew, everyone from your mum to your dog to the blind man across the street, we all knew that the midfield didn't work. We all knew that Garnacho shouldn't have started. We all knew this, but Ten Hag persisted. Fair enough, and guess what? It didn't work. You gotta change that shit. Garnacho, he got on my nerves. He very much did, because from the get go, there was one chance where he was up there and he could have slid Rashford in, but he didn't. He tried to slide Anthony in and he lost it. But what's that? Similar to what I said in the last episode, the final third is poor dog shit. It's like we don't know how to play the game. I do need to compose myself. I was cursing before I even started this, but I feel like I'm gonna get even more vexed because I'm just gonna remind myself of the shit. But anyway, back on track. The first half was alright. We had chances. Bruno with the header, Porro with his shot. Difference is that when we got into the final third, amnesia struck. When Spurs got in, they just didn't take their chances, though, they had the last laugh because they took theirs at the end. But in the second half, we were poor. We were poor. I was not happy with that in the slightest. For when Spurs scored first, they got into the groove. There's something with Tottenham. Whenever they play against the traditional Big Six, in the first home game of the season, there's something about it. Because I remember it was similar to City, where Kane didn't start, because he was being linked to the club, and then they beat them 1-0, and, but the crowd were very much up for it. Spurs fans pissed me off, though, because they kept on throwing shit onto the pitch whenever we were taking corners, man. That shit was corny as hell. But, now, I wasn't going to say much nice things about Tottenham. I was going to let Zeno do all that shit, but I'll give Spurs their flowers. They played great. I like Maddison. I like Basuma as well. Porro was good. He was getting on my nerves, but he was good. Sarr, I like, and last season, I was talking about how trash Spurs were, but I did mention Sarr. For when I watched him play against what team did he play? I think it was City last season. He did well. I do like Sarr, so I'm try and look at him some more this season. He's very good. I don't know what country he plays for. Someone's gonna have to tell me. Listen, let me get this shit off man's chest. Ten Hag got it wrong from the get go. The subs Dalot, Ericsson, and Sancho should have started. What's wrong with this midfield? I don't understand. I'm almost at a loss for words at the midfield, if I'm being honest with you. Casemiro, it's like players are running through him. I've never seen that. I don't know what's going on with Casemiro. And as for Mount, look, I like Mount. I really do. I think he can become a good sign for us. But let's just cut through the bullshit. That midfield three don't work. It just don't work. Done. It don't work. He needs to look at that. Him, McCarron, Ramsey, you man. After this, look at that midfield, because that midfield was not working. It wasn't as bad as it was against Wolves, but certainly was not working. I'm gutted about that. I very much am. That was not a good game from us. But Mount does need time. Yo, don't get twisted, you. This isn't an overreaction. You know, we lost to Spurs in the second game of the season. Whatever, it is what it is. Last season, I was in a much worse state with this, but it just says a lot, though, man. Because football's all about the fine lines, and again, Garnacho starting, he's not a starter. He's not ready for this. I like him coming on the bench, or coming off the bench. I really do. But he can't start. I hope I don't see him start against Forest. I just can't. You know, I might go red after that. You know what I'm saying? The handball, I thought it was a handball. Some of you lot might disagree. So Bruno had a shot, I think, and Romero had his arm, I think, in an unnatural position. And I will say this though, to put this to bed, because you know they obviously overturned it, and that next week the same situation will happen. It will likely be given. And what does that say about the inconsistency of the people in charge of VAR? VAR gets a lot of bad shtick, and I don't know why. It's the prats who run it. If you go into a maths test and I give you the answer sheet and you still fail, you are the prat, not the cheat sheet. But look, man, a lot of questions have to be asked about United. Why is Harry Maguire still here? Why are we allowing this fridge to still be here? If he agreed with West Ham, no, I want to say, cool, stay. Because we don't want to pay him off because we're broke, because we're cheap. Scott McTominay, still here. We are the only people in history to reject a 30 million bid for Scott McTominay. And the worst thing is, we'll never get that again. We'll never get that opportunity again to sell him for 30 million. You've lost it. No, you lost it. Donny van der Beek, we still can't sell him. It's a joke. The Mason Greenwood situation. And speaking of that, yeah, you get it. You hear it from me first, innit? I'll tell you this for free. Mason Greenwood, the plan for Manchester United is to slowly integrate him back into the team, despite the wishes of people from within the club, and I mean staff on a day-to-day basis, and the players, and from people from the women's team. I really do hope people protest the decision. If you ask me on a personal thing, even though legally he's innocent, I don't want him nowhere near the club. But if he fully does get integrated back into the team, Manchester United, I think that's all. That's gonna be cool. We can ride the hate from the fans. It really does say a lot about Manchester United. Richard Arnold on the board, it says a lot about them. Because what it is to them, it's, we've heard your opinion, but we don't care because we're in the business of making money. Manchester United is not a football club, it's a business. It's been poorly run like this for a decade, as you can all see it unravel before you. Fuck, man. That frustrates me. But back to the game, of course. The second half, yeah, man, it all shifted. Spurs got better. They grabbed the game a bit more, and then they scored, and then after that, you know, possession. We had our chances, and Anthony had his post. I think Anthony hitting the crossbar with that same technique is probably the most Anthony thing I can get. He gets on my nerves again. That front three. And the annoying thing is, because when Højlund's fit, this won't be the case anymore. But it frustrates me. It really does. But Spurs grew better and better. The second goal was a Martinez own goal. Who crossed that in? I think it was Perisic. And then Martinez hoofed it. Well, tried to hoof it, and then he got a love touch, and then it rolled in. But again, that midfield don't work. If you look at the first goal, if you look at the build up to the first goal, Saul runs in between Bruno and Mount. None of them don't track him. It don't. No, it don't work, man. It don't work. It just don't work. Change that shit. I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to hear it. But I'm gutted, because when I saw that 11, I thought to myself, it's not gonna work, man. Because we can all see it, man. Spurs can see it as well, man. Damn. But yeah, man, I'm very much frustrated. Forgive me. I'm very riled up. I watched that 9 minutes extra not extra time 9 minutes stoppage time. You could have done 20 minutes. United still won the score. We had chances and we still missed. So you can tell that the game just wasn't for us. All right, match ratings. Trust me, I'm gonna run through this. Onana 6. It wasn't his fault for any of the goals. His distribution was lovely. You should have seen the passes this guy was making. But too bad Garnacho just not being good enough. Couldn't capitalize on it, man. But his passing was great. Luke Shaw, I'll give a 6 as well. Actually, I'll give him a 6.5. He was nice. I liked him going forward. The cross to Bruno was lovely. He did his bit. Martinez, I'll give him a 5. Varane, a 5. Wan-Bissaka, 5. Those three, again, to their standards. Not so much Wan-Bissaka, just not good enough. Mason Mount, a 6. Again, just I feel for him. It just don't work. But I do think it takes time, but because it's evident that he wants to play him as an 8 deeper. When he was at Chelsea, he was part of the front three. Now he's deeper. But in certain games, again, for this game, you could even argue the Wolves game. It just weren't for him. So, picture as this shit. If we had signed, if the roles switched and we signed Amrabat first and we were struggling to get Mason Mount, I wouldn't have given a shit. Because at least he has that defensive side to him. But it's evident that we can't leave Casemiro on his ones, man. And that's what Casemiro's a 5, innit? Just leading up to him. What's going on with Casemiro, man? Someone needs to tell me, man. Because I look. If anything that I'm shocked about, for the second game, he just does not look it. I know he's 31, but I like to think, you had a month off. You didn't lose pace already. Dare I say it, I just see a decline in the man already. But hopefully people can get at me and say, yo, Julius, this is an overreaction on Casemiro as well. Because I hope I'm wrong, man. Because I'll watch him. And this passing is okay, but players running at him, it just makes me sick because it's like, that's not him. But yeah, he's a 5. Anthony, I'll give Anthony, I'll be real, I'll give him a 4 as well. He was poor. Anthony does need to step up, I kind of allowed them against Wolves, but he needs to step up, man, because this is your second season. First season, I defended you to the end because the hate you were getting was shit. Because the guy didn't ask to be purchased for 100 million again because of the great business done by Richard Arnold and John Murta, Tossers. But Anthony needs to step up. If he has another season, if he has another season like the one he had last season, I can't lie, you might have to bounce next season. I won't lie, man. I have low tolerance for players like that. I can't lie. Bruno, 5 again, average, poor. I'm really impressed by Bruno. In this game, Garnacho, I won't go in too hard. The boy is young, but I'll say 5. You heard my take on him. He is evidently better when he comes off the bench, and that's fine, man. He was decent in pre-season, so my confusion is, what did you see in him for him to start over Sancho? Sancho looked more effective coming off the bench. Rashford again, a 5. Again, just weren't good enough. But I don't blame Rashford. You had Anthony and Garnacho. You were getting no service. And Rashford, man, when he gets rattled like that, he doesn't help himself, because then he'll take too long on the ball. But he did have his chances, to be fair. I think even in the first half when Bruno slid it in nicely, done past that centre, I forgot his name, Van der Sar, I forgot his name. Should have really curled it in, but he didn't. So that was that was my team. Where does Man United go from here? Listen, you lot, man, take a long look in the mirror, man. And I don't mean just the players. I really do mean from the players to the coaches to the board, because we're almost entering a stage where this could all unravel, and I mean internally, innit? I've not been impressed with the Greenwood decision. Amrabat's just chilling. He's waiting for us, but again we're broke. Do you know what it is? Yeah, it's like that one girl that you know, like she likes you hard, like she shows you more love than the girls that you're even chasing. And you say to her, "Yeah, I'm gonna take her out. Don't worry." And she's there. She's put on her best makeup. She's got her best outfit, and she even told her family and that. Man, I'm saying her dad even throw an extra 20 in it. Though not like she gonna be spending it on the night out, and she's there waiting. And you say to her, "Yeah, I'm gonna pick you up." And she's there waiting outside. She's even looking out the window. Even it's been 2 hours, and she's thinking, "Rah, like we're calling, and we're not picking up." That's Amrabat, and you get me. And where are we? Well, we're back in the car with two chicks. That's who we are. It's a joke. Same with Pavard and that. Pavard, Amrabat, even Gravenberg, I'm hearing wants to come, but we can't because bang average players like McTominay, Maguire got us by the nuts. Why? Because the fools at top give him these ridiculous contracts. I found out that Harry Maguire was on 180k. Imagine a fridge from Leicester, 180k. Man could have gone to Curry's and got a cheaper fridge. You've lost it. McTominay, 30 million, turned it down. Criminal. I do think Richard Arnold alone should be sacked. I think if he does go through with this Greenwood thing, I think he's even done a much worse job than Ed Woodward. And he was the worst. So, sorry, man. I think my frustrations on the personal level hang deep with Manchester United internally because as you can see, it then filters through, innit? But, in fairness, we'll go again. We'll see. As for Spurs, they got a draw against Brentford. You know, they played well. Spurs deserve to win, by the way. You know, ignore me moaning about my club and it. Spurs deserve to win that. You know, because they end up being the better team at the end. You know, they beat us first game of the season. They're buzzing. I don't know their fixtures. I'll let Zeno bang on by his fucking team. But Spurs look nice. Even in certain phases of play, they were doing the tricks and whatnot. Spurs do look nice. It's definitely the antithesis to what we saw on the Conte. So I do expect Spurs to kind of be up there by the end of the season. I'm not saying top 4 or anything. I'll probably say like top 6 the very least, but I was for the most part impressed by Spurs. But anyway, I'm vexed. I'm gonna grab me a drink. I'm gonna let Zeno talk about the Spurs end part. ZFO, greatest in the game. Julius, I'm out.
Thank you for that, Dukey, aka Julius, the greatest in the game. Nonetheless, probably expected me to speak more about the game. I'm not going to do that. I like to watch the games in more depth and more detail. Unfortunately, I just haven't had the time. I'm not going to ramble on and justify my reasoning. Hopefully, what Dukey has said is enough. You can see he's in pain. United didn't deliver. They have a big problem with the midfield. While on the other hand, Tottenham look good. They look healthy. Things are pointing in the right direction in terms of life after Harry Kane and building a new era at the club. You know, developing a new style of football that's going to entertain and enthrall the fans. And they seem locked in with it. The support was amazing. The crowd were up for it. You know, so you can't be mad at it. You know, and by the way, I think Julius was talking about Sarr being from Senegal, and the performance that caught his eye last season was performance against Arsenal and North London derby. Nonetheless, I'm going to end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Mini Football Logic.
Mini Logic.